Hello, my name is fencedin, and I want to share with you my list of rare mob banners in Terraria. This was inspired by one of my current playthroughs I've been doing live on Twitch the last few months. The playthrough is to collect all the things in the game, and the topic of banners comes up quite often. We've had discussions of the rarest banners in the game, so I thought I'd compile a list of rare banners and share with you what I feel to be the rarest mob banners in all of the game. So let's get to it. The first set of banners I want to share are the banners from mobs that are uncommon, but with a little bit of effort you can get them without too much of a headache. The first two being here, the squid and snail banners. They're both mobs that spawn in the ocean. They're somewhat rare. I think they are probably rarer than sharks, and sharks spawn fairly often. If you have some sort of farm set up in the ocean, you'll probably get the squid one eventually, though the snail one is going to be a lot harder because they do go across the bottom of the ocean just like a crab would. So there'd be more effort to get them because you'd actually have to go down in the water or sit at the edge of the ocean for it. But they are definitely rare mobs. The next one here is the paladin banner. Paladins spawn often enough if you are in the correct location in a dungeon, but still would take quite a while to kill them. Not only do they have a lot of HP, but they don't spawn that often, so killing 50 of them would definitely take some time. The next one would be the pig run banner. This is actually probably only a hard banner because of the location and area you gotta be in to actually have them spawn. It's in the cavern layer with like a hallowed corruption or crimson overlapping with tundra. So basically you have to build a farm down in this very specific spot, wait for them to spawn. They're not a common spawn at all, so they will take quite some time to actually spawn, and so to get 50 of them would take some time. Next few here are actually from events. You have the Goblin Summoner. Goblin Summoner isn't that rare of mob when you are in hard mode fighting the Goblin Invasion, but you'd still have to do probably many Goblin Invasions to get it. The next ones being the Nailhead, the Psycho, the Izor, and Mothron banners. All four of these are, again, they're uncommon mobs for the solar eclipse. The first three, I mean, they're just uncommon mobs. The Nailhead definitely does have a lot of HP, so it takes a while to kill him. The Mothron also has a lot of HP, and generally, when Mothron spawns, you're going to be fighting Mothron and ignoring basically every other mob. So the first three become even more rare because you're fighting Mothron all the time. But it depends on how often Mothron spawns. Sometimes she spawns once or twice for an entire solar eclipse. Sometimes she spawns back to back to back. So those aren't they're too bad, but again, you have to do many solar eclipses. And the good thing about these events are that you can summon them at will as long as you have the summoning item, and they're not too hard to get. The last two being the Present Mimic and the Flacco banners, which they're rare in their own cases. If you had some sort of Frost Moon arena, the Present Mimics spawn off the screen, so you'd have to keep on going to the sides of the screen to actually find them and get them and kill them. You could probably get 50 of them in just a few Frost Moons. With the Flockers, on the other hand, they only spawn in 3 of the 20 waves, and there's only a couple that spawn per wave, so you definitely have to do a few of these to get enough of them to get the banner. So those are kind of like the uncommon mobs that I feel that would definitely take you some time to get, but that aren't too much of a headache again. The next set over here, though, these are what I consider kind of the rare mobs, the ones that you're actually going to have to work for, the ones that are actually going to take hours and hours of your time to get, and we'll go through them right now. The first one being the Pinky banner. The Pinky slime is a very rare slime mob that spawns. It has quite a bit of HP, so early on in the game, definitely takes a bit to kill. Later on in the game, not too bad. A good time to get it is during slime rain, which you can't control. Slime rains will happen when they want to happen, but eventually, killing enough slimes, you'll probably come across enough Pinkies to get the banner, though it is very rare. The next 3 are all mobs that spawn in the underground cavern layers, and they are the Nymph, the Tim, and Rune Wizard, with the first 2 spawning in pre-hard mode and the Rune Wizard spawning only in hard mode. But they're all very rare mobs. They spawn very rarely, and to get 50 of any of the 3 would definitely take quite a bit of time. But you could set up a farm down in the cavern layer and eventually get it. The next 3 being the Crimson Axe, the Cursed Hammer, and the Enchanted Sword. All 3 are from the respected biomes, that being the Crimson, the Corruption, and the Hallowed. They are mobs that spawn and kind of fly through the air, kind of like the Pigron does, but I feel that these spawn rarer than the Pigrons do. And you have to be in this specific biome where they spawn, and you can only get 2 out of 3 of these on one single world. So if you want to get the third one, either being the Crimson or the Corruption, whichever one you don't have, again, you're going to have to get that world into hard mode, go set up another farm down in the underground, and then get that one. So if you're on a single world, you can only get 2 or 3 of these, and it still take quite a while. The next 2 are from the jungle. You have the Moth and you have Dr. Bones. Both of them are very rare mobs, and you could go an entire playthrough and not see either of them, but definitely would recommend setting up some sort of underground jungle farm to get these. They would definitely take many hours because they are really rare mobs, and there's a lot of variety of mobs that can spawn, and the more variety of mobs that can spawn, the less chance of these particular mobs spawning, so that's what makes them really rare. The last one here is the Blue Cultist Archer banner, which is a mob that spawns after you kill Golem at your dungeon entrance. The 4 cultists that spawn there. You have regular cultists and you have the cultist archer, and they could spawn, as far as I've seen, all 4 archers or all 4 regular or some combination of that, 2 and 2, 1 and 3, whatever it happens to be. Basically, you can only kill these 4 once a day. You may or may not get any archers in one day. You may get 4 archers in one day, so it could take many days in Terraria to get this banner, because you have to kill 50 of them, and if you only get 1 a day, that's 50 game days, and possibly the earliest you could get it would be like 12 days. But you're looking, you know, at many hours of sitting there every single day, going to fight them, and then having to fight the Lunatic Cultists or despawning them. So that kind of wraps up the rare mobs that I feel that would just take long time to get, and have very specific setups or very specific areas to get these. So good luck with those. The next set of banners I'd like to talk about are rare only because you can't control certain things in Terraria beyond like the actual spawning of the mobs. So a rare mob spawning rarely is just rare, but a mob spawning rarely in an event that you can't control is even rarer. The first 3 I'd like to talk about are the Groom, the Corrupted Penguin, and the Clown. These only spawn in Blood Moon. The first 2 happening before hard mode, and then Clowns only spawning in hard mode. The Groom and the Clown are just rare mobs in general. They take a lot of time to get the 50 kills. So you are waiting for an event that happens at its own will. You can't control when a Blood Moon happens. So when a Blood Moon happens, you basically want to stop everything you're doing and go to your Blood Moon farm and kill as many mobs as you can. You may see 1 of these a night, maybe 0, maybe 3 or 4, but it definitely would take a long time to get these because you can't control when a Blood Moon happens. The Corrupted Penguins only spawn during the Tundra, and only if a penguin spawns before the Blood Moon happens. So if you had a bunch of penguins on the screen and it turned to night and you had a Blood Moon, boom, you got a couple of Corrupted Penguins. These are probably harder to get than the Clown or the Groom, but eventually you'll get them. And the next 2 are the Ice Golem and the Rainbow Slime banners. Both of them are when it's raining or snowing, basically. The Ice Golem is just, you know, go to the Tundra, hang out there. Eventually you'll see them spawn. Probably not too hard to get, but again, you have to wait till it rains for that to actually happen. The Rainbow Slime is a little bit more finicky because you have to be inside of a hallowed, on the edge of a hallowed biome and some other biome, and the slime, the Rainbow Slime, actually spawns outside of the hallowed biome. So you need to be in the hallowed, which is right on the border of hallowed and not hallowed, and then have these slimes spawn. So you're going to be having to go probably outside the hallowed, get them, kill them, go back to the hallowed, and keep on doing that over and over whenever they spawn, and they are kind of a rare spawn. Both of these I would definitely recommend doing during the daytime, because there's less variety of mobs to spawn, and they seem to spawn more often during the daytime than during the nighttime. Although they do spawn during the nighttime. Next, I'd like to move on to our very last set of mobs, which I don't really consider that rare, but they're only rare because they only happen during 2 specific times of the year. You have the Halloween event and the Christmas event. So you have just a few weeks to get these. Of course, you could set your clock on your computer to force the time of the year events to happen, but all 6 of these can definitely be gotten any time of the year. But if you don't want to change your system clock to get these, you're going to be having to wait, until the specific time of the year to get them. The first 3 are the Raven, the Hop and Jack, and Ghost banners. They're not very rare mobs at all. Again, you just have to be during that time of the year to get them. The later 3 are the Mr. Stabby, Snowballa, and the Snowman Gangster banners. These aren't too hard to get. Basically, you have to be in hard mode and open up a present, which drops from any mob. Somewhat rare, but not really. You're going to get a lot of them. But yeah, then you have a chance of getting a snow globe. Basically, you spawn them just like any other event by using the snow globe. This would probably take like maybe 2 or 3 events to get all 3 banners, but again, not that hard as long as you're in the right time of the year and you're in hard mode and you have the snow globe. And that's my list of all the banners that I feel in the game are very hard to get. And that's about it. So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, make sure to hit that like button. It's very much appreciated. Of course, you can always subscribe to know when future videos are out. And as always, thanks for watching.